Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Got your attention?
What is the biggest ick?
People like wrestling.
You can suck my fucking dick!
Damn!
Happy Thursday, everybody. You know, TikTok believes in Joe Hendry, and I believe in Biggie Shaq and Papa Wheelie. We are back after a month, folks. We got a lot to talk about. Biggie,
Well,
how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. It feels good to be back on the Sweet Chin Music, dude. We got a month, 4 weeks of content to go over, and I hope you guys are ready for an action-packed show, dude.
So we talked about what we were going to open up with, and it's going to be the passing of Sika Anoa'i. And if I said that wrong, Anoa'i, I apologize. But Roman Reigns' dad passed away, and that week they did that angle where Paul Heyman got beat up, and
Yes.
I think there was a reason they did it that week, because now when Roman Reigns comes back, he's going to say, I was burying my father and you attacked my wise man.
That's a hell of a gimmick. I heard that Paul Heyman actually was sleep deprived, because you look at the scene, you're like, his eyes are bloodshot, dude.
Yeah, he looks awful.
How the
He
fuck
looks
do
like a
you
wreck.
gimmick that? How do you gimmick that besides staying up or trying to cry? Like,
Well, he's been messing with his appearance like that for years, and that is something he's employed before, where he stays up to make himself look frazzled. I mean, that guy is a method actor. He's used his hair color to tell us what moods he's in. Remember when he was getting stressed out, like he let the hair gray on the sides, he let that dye job of the black hair kind of bleed out. Yeah, he looked awful but great at the same time. That was an amazing thing. Rest in peace to Sika. You know, we can talk about the legacy of Samoan wrestlers, and they weren't the first. Obviously, Peter Maivia, the Wild Samoans grew up fans of his, but they were, to my knowledge, one of the first big over Samoan tag teams.
oh, they opened the gateway up in the WWF big time. Was you going to say something, Pop? Sorry.
It was great when they attacked him.
It was great, and it was a good segment. Paul Heyman sold it. I didn't think he would even want to go through a table. He went through a damn table. But I do want to say one discouraging thing about Paul Heyman. He thinks he's the greatest manager in the history of managers. And I'm thinking my boy Bobby the Brain would run laps around you, dude. You ain't got shit on Bobby the Brain. I'm going to say it because Bobby ain't here. And
Bobby
then,
the Brain right here.
yeah.
For me, it goes Bobby the Brain, Jimmy Hart, Jim Cornette, Paul Heyman, and you can put anybody else you want after that.
Fuck it. Even the Japanese guy was pretty good.
Oh, Mr. Fuji?
Mr. Fuji, yeah. Well, this is my thing with Paul Heyman, man. You're a bit of a front runner, dude. You know, your little team is kind of shitty right now, and you're falling apart at the seams. When everything's going good, you're there. Bobby the Brain didn't run from shit. He always had a plan. Belt, no belt, title shot, no title shot. The Brain always did dirt, and he did better managing than you. That's what I'm fucking.
Except for Ultimate Warrior dropping him on his dang noggin.
Yeah, that was bad for him, but that wasn't his fault. See, Brain is the Brain.
No, it was not Bobby's fault.
Yeah. Bobby never missed a beat. He was better than anybody live. I feel like him and Gorilla's the greatest announcers ever, and he's the greatest. I miss the Brain. I just want to knock Paul Heyman down a couple pegs because you're not looking so good these days.
I have Paul Heyman on my Mount Rushmore of wrestling managers, but he's number 4. I've got Jim Cornette ahead of him. I've got Jimmy Hart ahead of him. and I've got Bobby on top, which I think a lot of people would probably agree with that list.
I like it.
Oh, good. Jimmy Uso's cleared. So, I mean, do we think the Usos are going to be part of Team Roman? Will they get back together? Yeah, I think that's happening. But The Rock, will The Rock come back with Roman?
I don't know. I just remembered I got a live fire out back, so I'm gonna hop on my phone.
Don't burn the house down, Big.
I don't know. I just thought, like, I want a good audio, but at the same time, I don't want fire just flickering around out there. So I'm gonna go out back, but I'm not leaving the stream. So what are we talking about again? I'm sorry, I'm a goof.
Well, we were talking about the passing of Sika. We're talking about the Bloodline, Samoan wrestlers.
Be right back.
Sika, just for being the father of Roman Reigns, even. I mean, guy's got a legacy. His son was one of the biggest deals in wrestling for the last 5 years for sure, but definitely an effect on the last decade.
Yeah. Sika was Sika and the other guy, the head shrinkers. I feel like all their nephews and sons and everything, and they really are. I can't lie, they're the primary big family in wrestling. Like, I give them that, dude.
Yeah. I mean, just in the numbers game, they got that.
Yeah, they got some dog wrestlers, some mean stuff. Like, my favorite is Yoko. And then, maybe Rock, but I'm a big Haku fan, too.
Haku's probably my favorite out of all of them.
Yeah. I just give Rock a lot of credit, but Haku was so much fun to watch. And just knowing in real life he could beat the shit out of you is a big plus for him.
And we got Jacob Fatu, and he's had a match, and the Samoan werewolf looked great. God, and he hasn't even shown us everything that guy can do, and he's looking 40 pounds lighter. And, I mean, one of my favorite moonsaults in the modern era is done by Jacob Fatu. So I'm very excited he's there. I'm glad that WWE's taking a chance on him, and they're pushing him. You know, a couple months ago, I was on here saying how they should push him, and they are. They're playing up how dangerous he is, and you know that we had to get special permission to get him into Canada, which is true because he is a felon. You know, to travel to another country, you need to get different clearances. I mean, he is a convicted felon.
The werewolf thing I'm not loving.
The what? Sorry, play it again, Pop.
The werewolf thing I'm not loving.
You don't like it? So that's kind of his gimmick, though. He's the Samoan werewolf.
Well, if they let him open up on the microphone and really do what he wants. See, I get tired of these writers controlling these wrestlers whenever they open up and do their own content and shtick. They let that guy open up, because I've seen some of his previous mic work, and he hasn't got to do a good promo yet. He's just kind of the destroyer guy, you know, and let him loose, man. That he's better than all them guys.
I would agree with that, but I think you're right in that they've got him in the enforcer role, so really probably not necessary for him to speak. And Solo's got the heat right now. Can we all agree on that? Holy crap, does the crowd hate that guy?
I think he's a bit of a dud. I feel like when you got guys on your backup that are people in the know are better, like even Jey Uso could be a better fucking head of the table, you know? Like, I don't know. I never liked Solo that much.
He's the pretender head of the table. He's exactly what they need right now. Because people do feel exactly like you do, Biggie, is that he can't tie Roman's shoes, but he's acting like he is the head of the table, and Roman's not there to set him straight, so the crowd's trying to do it for him. Roman Reigns is more over now in the 2 months he's been absent than he has been in maybe his whole career. The crowd chants for him every week, and he's at home.
Yeah. No, you got a point there. Like it's doing wonders, Roman. But do I think they could do better? Maybe. Is it working? Yeah.
Oh, it's working, Biggie. When he steps back into the building, that crowd's gonna pop. Babies are gonna go up in the air when he shows up and shoves Solo or puts hands on him. My God, the roof's gonna come off.
Well, we all kind of thought The Rock was going to do that, you know, but we knew he wasn't because he's Hollywood. That's the other thing we got to talk about.
The Rock right now, they don't even need
him. No, they're definitely making the most out of the least. If that's their goal to make the most out of what they got, they're doing really well because they're making Solo bigger than he's ever going to probably ever fucking be with this shit.
I mean, Biggie, you have the I'm not going to say curse, but you know, you have it working for you that we grew up in an era of wrestling where it popped real numbers and millions upon millions of people all over the world watched it, and it was at a level it'll never be at again. But in this modern era, the Bloodline is the best thing that we've seen in years. And they're doing so little. They're giving us almost nothing, and we're thanking them for it.
Mm.
I mean, wouldn't you agree? I mean, what is what's really going on week to week? They picked up Paul Heyman's, and I can say this because I'm a fellow fat. They picked up Paul Heyman's fat ass. They put him through a table as gently as 3 Samoans could. And they took care of him. He didn't get hurt in real life, but they put him through, and it was the talk of wrestling chat board or wrestling chats for a week after.
Yeah. What is the biggest thing that's happened in the last 10 years? It's got to be the Roman shit because he had the belt for fucking 3 of them. Like, what are we talking about? So
the bloodline.
Yeah. It's hard to deny that. I can't think of anything. You know, well, we got to erase anything that Brock had.
Even with it, though, Brock tipped the needle because he was believable. The Bloodline is, I don't know, it's very good storytelling in an era that's not known for good storytelling.
I think when people look back at that last decade, people were going to. We're all a prisoner in the moment. So what we see is what's strongly in our memory. But if you look at the first half of this decade, I mean, just look back at fucking what Chris Jericho and Cody Rhodes did to AEW, bro. Like that shit was pretty fucking hot. Pretty fucking hot shit, dude.
5 years ago, 250 episodes ago, it debuted.
Right. I would say that might be a little bit memorable than some of the Roman Reigns shit.
It was big, but the Bloodline has been bigger the last 3 years.
Oh, it took over, yeah. But there for a bit, we had a lot of AEW guys before the WWE guys fans started popping up. So I don't know.
Let's keep with AEW, Biggie. Let's talk about the match everybody's talking about today. Let's talk about last night's MJF versus Will Ospreay on Dynamite 250.
I've never seen Ospreay have a better match. The ones I try to watch and I force myself to watch, I'm like, this guy's not what everybody says he is. That match, I was like, oh, I get it. And MJF, for such a little fucking guy, even though he's got a couple muscles on him, he tends to think he's the bully. And
I mean, he looks better than he did a few years ago.
He does, yeah. I mean, it's working a lot better now than it used to. Now he thinks he's a physical specimen, and he's doing fucking moves.
Yeah.
The top tier moves.
It was a great match.
I love the reversals.
Hello to Comic Journey. Hello to Bleecker Street Comics. Hey, guys.
The fucking reversals, Beckerman, dude. We need more of that shit.
So, Biggie, if you ran AEW, would you have given away that match for free last night?
I mean, it was the 250th. They needed something notable. I felt like, I don't know, maybe
banger between your two top guys where they do everything under the sun.
Okay. Now, I will say this. I think you're absolutely right, and only in the reason that MJF took the fucking belt, and there's a little grandiosity with that. Like him and fucking Dean Ambrose are the only two whatever champions or some shit. Like, okay, have the 50-minute match, have MJF lose, and then put it on a pay-per-view and have MJF win, is what I say.
If you had saved MJF and Ospreay for Wembley, or at least, like you said, do a very small version of the match, have it highly contested, have some run-ins, have some sort of treachery happen, so that you could have the big match at Wembley.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid people saw way too much of this. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because, Tony Khan doesn't really care about. He really doesn't care about ratings. He doesn't care about money. He doesn't care about selling tickets because, he's a rich Mark, and it don't really matter anyway because he can get by on his old man's money. He can get by on his old man's money.
I don't know who put together that fucking match. I would guess they did. I can't imagine writers writing out every fucking move they did.
That match smacked of MJF and Ospreay planning that out.
They would had to have. I think that's what made it so good. Was I don't know, man. Sometimes them hour matches are fun, and it's good. Everybody got to see it. It's good for their brand. And maybe that is the plan. Maybe now Ospreay's got to win it back in Wembley because the fans. He played the whole I'm a fair fighter fucking gimmick real hard. Like, I don't think we've ever seen such a fair fighter gimmick since fucking Hogan. Like, I'm talking like early 80s. Like, I'm a fair battler, I'm
going to pull up the ratings.
Oh, they're tiny and obscure compared to the 90s. Oh, I remember when we first started doing this show. I remember when we first started doing the show and people were saying, oh, Roman Reigns brought in more money than any other wrestler. I'm like, you're out of your fucking mind. People would say the dumbest shit.
We've got the early ratings, the quarter-hour breakdowns of AEW Dynamite on TBS, July 17th, 2024. They opened with 871,000 people. Now, there's always a little bit of a drop-off because you got the Big Bang Theory fans leaving. So, but they opened with MJF versus Will Ospreay, 8 p.m. to 8:15, 871,000. Then that wears off. We go to 8:15 to 8:30, MJF versus Will Ospreay still going on, 829,000. 8:30 to 8:45, we've got 834,000. So they gained 5,000 people back. Probably 5,000 people who heard, holy crap, Ospreay and MJF are going off. Then 8:45 to 9, we have MJF versus Will Ospreay through picture-in-picture ads. It stays at 834,000. And then the conclusion of the match actually popped up to 841K. During that, you also had Mark Briscoe, the Acclaimed, and Swerve Strickland promo, Chris Jericho, and Minoru Suzuki live promo. Then the match is now over. All of that stuff's over. We have 9:15 to 9:30. Young Bucks show up with Kazuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, blah, blah, blah. Where do you think it went, Biggie? Do you think it went in this direction?
Oh, yeah.
They lost 80,000 people. The Young Bucks, folks. The Young Bucks.
The Young Bucks and Mercedes, really, let's be honest.
And then Mercedes Moné had her match versus Nyla Rose. They lost another 35,000 people. They're down to 734K. Then we've got an ad break, Swerve Strickland and Okada. That goes down to 701,000, so we lost another 33,000. And then at the end of the show, we have the finish of the Swerve Strickland, Okada post-match with Mark Briscoe, Acclaimed, Young Bucks, Jack Perry, Adam Page, Darby Allin. This goes down to 685,000. So from the ending of the MJF, hey Boggs, and hey to Kenneth Bird. So from the ending of the Osprey MJF match, we went from 841,000 to 685,000, Biggie.
Those are some great numbers, Becker. Yeah. Almost half, like a little more than half, or less than half left. So, yeah, maybe put your biggest match at the end of the night. You know, that might help a little bit. Sometimes the World Heavyweight Championship ain't as good as the Intercontinental or whatever the fuck, you know, like every now and then that happens.
You want to talk, Pop?
Wouldn't you want that rating to be reversed?
Yes, you would. And Bleecker Street Comics asks, what do you guys think of UFC fighters transitioning to the WWE? I think under this new, as a stockholder, I would say synergy. I still have a few shares.
I don't know of many off the top of my head. Can you refresh my memory? Okay, so we had the hippie with no shoes. He's not Matt Riddle. He ain't doing much now. Who else?
He's in MLW.
Brock Lesnar's gone. The Mexican dude was a little bit of a guy like that. El Del Rio. Like what else we got?
Can we bring Brock Lesnar back? Is he canceled still, or
no? We can't bring him back. Oh yeah, that's the other thing we haven't talked about on the Sweet Chin Music is the fact that ever since the scandal of Vince McMahon came out, it's no longer just women and hookers and a few of your friends banging them. It's also that Vince McMahon has had sex with the male enhancement.
Yeah, I'm not touching that one.
You don't want to touch that one? I feel like we owe it to our fans. Hey, we owe it to our fans. If we're going to talk about wrestling, you can't get out of everything. So I'll bring it up, but we ain't got to talk about it. But I'm just going to be quick to say a couple of the guys might have got a push because they were banging the boss, and that's real shit.
They might have gotten a push in more ways than one.
Yeah. So I'm not going to ignore it. I think it's a real thing. It's a rumor, but it's been widely.
I'm not touching it with a 10-foot pole. So to get to Bleeker's question, I think he might be referring. Dana White did an interview not too long ago that he was asked the same question, and he said, "Hats off to any guys. You know, once your time in MMA is done, why wouldn't you? I mean, you're already conditioned. Why not move to WWE where you can get a few more years of making money and without the risk of getting your head kicked in?"
I think wrestling's a little less. Okay, UFC's dangerous, but wrestling ain't that far behind. Like everything hurts in wrestling. Like I think a lot of those guys would be surprised the physicality they gotta go through.
WWE would be the safer place to go if you were going to be a pro wrestler post UFC.
Yeah,
they can take care of you.
That's a good point. Like I said earlier, I don't know much. I don't know many of the stars from UFC coming, but yeah, I guess that's an interesting.
there's been talk about a few guys that might move over, and considering the same company owns both,
that's a good point.
More power to them. If you want to stretch out your years, why not? I think it's smart. What do you think, Bleecker?
So we didn't get to say this before we started, but I think we should bring up good old Cena retiring. He's got like 30 shows, or not matches, but things he's going to do before he retires. What are your thoughts about that, Becker? You think that that's worth paying attention to, or?
I do. The John Cena retirement news was big. Although I don't know, because AEW at the same moment was running their Saturday night show, and they countered it with having the return of Marco Stunted growth.
See, my thing with Cena is that out of all of the wrestlers at this time in their career, there's only two I would want to do what Hogan did with NWO. I know fucking Pop don't like me talking about this, but Cena and soccer hair mom AJ would be the two I would, out of everybody, I could see that possibly working, and it would be good. If you had Cena do the Hollywood Hogan, I think it would work, and I think it would get over, just like AJ. Like he did it before.
I don't think he has any desire to do it at this point.
No, he ain't going to, but
he said as much at the post conference or the press conference after. And really, I don't blame him. He means so much to those various charities he works with, especially Make-A-Wish. Why would he ever jeopardize how those kids view him? I love that Hulk Hogan did Hollywood Hogan, but you remember as well as I did, there were some children devastated by that, and the hate they got was real. Like that ring got peppered with trash and garbage. And
if you look at the Make-A-Wish and the children and things, before John Cena, the biggest athlete to do those things was Hulk Hogan. And I'm pretty sure he's second behind John Cena at this point. So it's whatever. He still did those things after Hollywood, but I see what you're saying. Like the very small children, even the small kids loved Hollywood Hogan, but yeah.
Yeah. Hello to Sleepy Reader, and Papa Wheelie has something he wants to say.
UFC to WWE works, but WWE to UFC don't work.
True. No, I see that pipeline going one way. We've all seen what CM Punk did in UFC. We don't need to see that again.
Hell no.
To get back to Biggie and John Cena, the other thing I would say is if you're a fan of like evil John Cena, if you would want to see him behave in a way that isn't like the character of John Cena, or isn't like who he probably is in real life, you can turn on Peacemaker season 2. I believe it comes back in a few months. So you can see him bang hookers and say borderline racist things, and you can see him strut around in his Grundy undies and all sorts of stuff.
The problem with that, Becker, for me, man, is that I had a Fighting 540, and I understand how hard it is to get that book. So I don't want to watch John Cena do anything good with Peacemaker, because it just makes me feel like a mark for selling my fucking first Peacemaker. So yeah.
Did you get a good price for it?
I got like $300. Yeah,
that's not bad. You did
it's
good.
Not bad. Yeah, I mean, if I got a slab,
you didn't pay $300 for it, did you?
For a fucking Raw, yeah, $8, man. I got paid.
Biggie, you're shitting in high cotton over there.
I know, I am, but I still hope that it tanked, and it didn't quite tank as good as I hoped it did. You know.
I want to go back to Bleeker's comment. I repeat, Brock went from WWE to UFC. Well, I didn't say it yet, but so I can't say I repeat. I would say Brock went from collegiate wrestler to WWE to UFC, and that's a big difference, especially when he wasn't just a collegiate wrestler, but he was one of the most dominant heavyweight wrestlers. Well, heavyweight, what 240 or whatever he wrestled at. I'm just saying. Yeah, Haku could have done it. There are guys that could have done it, but this modern era of fitness models, we don't need to see any of them get their faces beat in.
No.
Nobody needs to watch Seth Rollins get his CrossFit loving ass beat in the UFC.
I actually would enjoy that, but yeah,
I know you would enjoy it, but we don't need to see it.
So,
and a football player, yeah. Brock Lesnar is the exception to the rule.
He's a super freak, man.
He's some sort of Viking descendant of Thor.
Yeah, there's no gimmick in Brock Lesnar. He was a badass from the jump. So there you go. Where we at? We talked about Ospreay. We talked about the MJF. Oh, I believe that we missed a point of discussion besides the beginning. How over is Joe Hendry, dude? How over is that guy?
I believe in Joe Hendry.
I don't even think it's a question if he's over. I just want to know how over.
TikTok loves him.
Well, TikTok, and I've been told about the entrance songs and shit, but even hardcore fans that hate new gimmicky wrestlers, they're like, oh no, this guy's different. Like, this guy is working.
He's the TNA crossover I want to see with NXT. I hope he sooner than later makes it to the main roster of WWE, and I'd like to see stuff done with him. I feel the same way. The future's bright in WWE. We got Braun Breaker. Who can we just stop calling him Braun Breaker and just call him Braun Steiner? I hate that Breaker name. Yeah. Let him win a title. When he wins the title, he can come out and cut a promo and said, "Hey, I made a promise that I wouldn't trade on the family name till I won a title. Now I'm Braun Steiner." Like, done.
Yeah. Hendry to me was what they kind of had with LA Knight, but just better aesthetic, more originality, and less drag. Like, it could be what Bryant's Yes movement was. It could be that big, I think.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Matt Riddle is a decent wrestler. Sadly, so is Logan Stupid Paul. Man, that's hard to say. Logan Paul is over too. If Logan Paul wants to dedicate himself to be a full-time wrestler, that guy could be another big one. We talk about Joe Hendry. We talk about who else could be a big star. I think Logan Paul, Braun Breaker, Gunther, even though you don't see that big. Future's bright. Future's real
Randy
bright.
Is still looking halfway decent. You know, AJ Styles probably on his way out.
I think Randy will probably retire in about 2 years. I think AJ will retire early next year or next year.
Is Uncle Howdy already old news, or are we going?
The Wyatt Six Pops YouTube numbers. I went and looked at their YouTube numbers, and I think I owe James Willie an apology. Like, they get a ridiculous amount of views. So last night's Ospreay match got 444,000 currently. With about an hour ago, it had 444,000 views. The Wyatt Six, how many views do you think they got for just some random boo?
Probably 3 million.
Not that high.
Okay.
You got to remember, it's modern wrestling and it's YouTube.
Yeah,
750,000. 750,000 for scaring Chad Gable.
I thought it was maybe a short little meme clip or something. Okay, it's a little bigger video.
No, it was an 8-minute video where they chased Chad Gable around.
Oh yeah, they killed Chad Gable. I've seen that meme, but
they murdered him. They shot him in the head.
Oh,
but that was 3 weeks ago. This video is from this week, and it's just them scaring him some more. And 750,000 views on YouTube.
Now,
I can't get 22.
It feels like way too much fluff or nut for me. I'm not getting enough in-ring movement. I ain't getting enough in-ring physical touch. I'm getting a lot of vignettes. and it's getting on my fucking nerves. So do something.
That's not the era that we're in, Biggie.
I can't stand it. Do something.
Nope. You just have to cut a good promo now, wrestle once a month, and you have to have a entrance music that people can go, oh, oh, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm never going to be a Rollins fan for that OEO shit. And
well, they do it for Cody, they do it for Sami Zayn.
Yeah, the fucking Sami Zayn. That's like a soccer match. I don't even consider that one. But I'm still a wrestling guy. Like, that might have been the best match of the year. I watched the last 20 minutes of that match last night. Besides AJ and Cody and Execution, that was some good shit. I mean, we had way too many kickouts and way too many finishers, but they're children, you know, let the children play. But maybe they'll work that out. Maybe they'll figure out how to. I mean, Ospreay was selling the shit out of his arm. He never forgot what arm was fucked up. He kept selling and selling and selling. So they're not bad. They're good. I don't know. I don't like the vignette bullshit. Let's get some action. Once I start seeing, I saw one little thing where he hopped in the ring with the one dude, and then who was it? The big guy, like Black Brock.
No. You're talking about Bobby Lashley.
Bobby Lashley, yeah, he hopped in. Bobby Lashley, what is going on? You know, like that's as close we got to any kind of touching somebody.
Another former MMA fighter.
That's true, yeah.
And he went from college wrestling to WWE. Well, he went from the Army to college wrestling to WWE to MMA back to WWE for Bleecker.
Did you see that Eric Rowan video?
Where he cried and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, emotional stuff. I don't mean to make it sound like that. I don't know. I'm not big on so many crying promos anymore. And I get it. He has a reason to cry. He lost his two best friends. I'm not belittling that, but I grew up in an era where we didn't have that on our wrestling programs.
Well, wrestling's looking good. We had a good little break on the show. There's a million things we could talk about, but I think we caught up with about everything, except for a few.
Sweet Chin music used to mean something. It still does on Thursday nights.
Yeah.
Yeah, now everybody does that leg slap kick. You got the Young Bucks, the Usos. I think between the four of them, they've thrown about 7.4 million Sweet Chin musics.
I'd like to think the Usos match at WrestleMania was the burial of Sweet Chin music, because that match was literally 75 Sweet Chin musics.
Hello to our pal, Real James Willie. We know he can't be with us tonight because he's recovering from a never-ending series of dental stuff, and a very fine tip of the cap to you, sir. Hope you feel better. I had something I just wanted to bring up. What did you just say, Biggie?
I said I think that the Usos match in WrestleMania was the burial of Sweet Chin music, because they threw literally 75 Sweet Chin musics.
Speaking of burials, we did find another thing that happened in the break of this show was we got through the case of who killed WCW. And the truth was everybody killed it. There was a lot of murderers.
Do you feel like the documentary or the episodes were a good representation or answer to that question?
No, I think it was honestly, I thought it was a puff piece to make Eric Bischoff feel better.
I was goading you, hoping you'd say yes, just to disagree with you, but I never fell for it, because you got guys on there saying shit I don't feel like they meant. It was definitely a WWE branded kind of thing.
Bischoff actually got to book people for that show, I found out.
Yeah.
So there was definitely a pro-Bischoff narrative. Papa Wheelie, I see your message. This goes out to you, James Willie. Mea culpa. I admit I'm wrong. Wyatt 6. I've seen their YouTube numbers. People really like it. I personally don't. I think only The Undertaker should be allowed to do supernatural stuff, and Kane by extension, and nobody else. Like, I don't understand who this Renegade Smoke team is.
I don't know why you're apologizing to him though, Becker, because I don't remember you saying it wouldn't work.
Well, I told him that I didn't think it would get it over, and it does. It's over with the YouTube watchers. So
okay, well, I knew it would get something. I mean, anything.
I can admit when I'm wrong.
All right.
There's more interest in it than I ever thought there would be. But the evil sound guys, the evil lighting guys, the assassination of Chad Gable, and all of the Renegade Smoke Machine workers, I'm not into any of it. I think it's weird. But whatever. That's what the people want.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of it after I've seen what they've done. Like I said, too many vignettes, give me some action, but it is working. I knew it would work and people like it, but for me, it's don't have a lot of longevity. It's just got, until I see them work and the ring science, I can't give them much. That's just how I am.
Yeah. Well, do we have any other? Whoa, sorry.
Do WWE bring WCW back? Or
That's
just
a good question. Sorry. Or just to what? Do it again, Pop.
Or just in merch?
They never got rid of WCW. They've sold so many fucking NWO shirts, it's ridiculous. So the merch has been there. They own all the copyright material. But do they bring it back as a brand? They should. Are they smart enough to do it? No. That's what I think.
No, I think they're fine with the brands they have. WWE, NXT, we're good.
You don't think we could do better with? You don't think they could do better with WCW?
Not anymore.
No.
No. The people that remember WCW that would want to see it wouldn't want to see the WWE version of it. They'd want its own thing. Most of the guys that made WCW great are retired. The few that are left, I don't think we want to see. I mean, AEW is probably your best remainder. Whoa, we lost Pop.
No, that you're right though. That's exactly how I feel. If we were going to just put the name on any of the brands, it would be AEW's WCW.
Yeah. AEW is the closest thing we have to WCW.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, it's late WCW.
Now, if they were smart enough to say, "Okay, Cody, you got NXT, do your daddy Dusty shit over there," it would be magic to me. But I just want that, you know. I just like it.
Well, we're approaching 45 minutes. Do we got anything to finish out the hour, or do you want to wrap it up since we are just three of us tonight?
Well,
I can go either way. I've loved the conversations we've had so far, but I'm not really coming up with. There was just so much that happened the last month. I should have wrote it down.
I'm raring to go. I got a few more things I could shit out for 10 minutes. So,
what do you got, Big?
What's his name? Logan's brother, Jake
Paul.
Good old Jake. So we're going to get a Jake Paul Mike Perry fight. I don't know
who that is.
You must have missed it. I just found out about a couple of days ago. So Saturday is the day that we were supposed to get Tyson and Jake Paul. So instead of Tyson, he's got Perry, and Mike Perry's a UFC guy that went to bare knuckle boxing, and he could box pretty good. They call him the Platinum Perry or some shit. Anyways, I think that it's gonna be a good fight. I'm watching it. I'm intrigued and I'm excited.
Is it on Netflix still?
No, it's gonna be pay-per-view, I think.
Oh, I liked it more when I could watch it on Netflix.
Yeah, so I'll be watching that Saturday, and I think that's all I wanted to bring up. The Hogan stuff, I'll leave that alone because Papa don't like it. But Hogan's always making the news, if good or bad. Like, you can't go a week without hearing some Hogan shit. Like, even his son just got put back in jail for DUI. So, it never ends with him. But yeah, I think that's about it. What didn't
I want to say hi to Paul in the 619 and hi to Shop for Comics.
Did the other world champ lose yet, or does he still got the belt? What's his name? Not Cody.
Logan Paul?
No. The other world champ.
Oh, El Senor, Money in the Bank, formerly.
Right. He still got his belt, right?
Yeah, he still has his belt. Oh, what do we think of Rhea Ripley coming back and confronting Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan? And Damian Priest knew all along.
Yeah, is she back healthy?
Yeah, she came back.
Good.
Monday night, or last Monday. She came back like a week ago and confronted Dom and Liv ran from her, and Dom is in trouble, you know.
So who is the women's champion right now?
Yes.
Liv Morgan.
Okay, go ahead, Pop. What is it, Pop?
Yes.
Yes. Oh. What's this? I can't see. Hold on.
Umaga, and we got Hollywood Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I gotta get one of those.
It looks exclusive.
Yeah, those are new. I've seen a couple of people show the Hogan. He's got like a belt and he's ripping his shirt. That's cool, Pop. Liv Morgan still has the belt. I miss Charlotte Flair. The whole I saw in our little chat. Oh, I knew that the Ripley thing and him were an ode to Chyna and Eddie. Of course it is.
Yeah.
Duh. From the fucking beginning, everybody do that. But okay. He's never gonna be Eddie. She's never gonna be Chyna. She's better looking than Chyna. She's probably more over than Chyna. Sexually, not in the ring ability, but maybe even in the ring ability. Like, you know, Chyna was a bit of a stiff. So,
Biggie, you're entering territory where I might not comment again.
You might not comment. All right. I don't know, man, if it's gonna Liv Morgan. She's just gonna be like looked at as a side chick. Like, he's always gonna be tied to her because it's an ode to what happened before. So that's my opinion.
Paul in the 619 says, love that love triangle. It's a freaking hilarious love triangle. Yeah, I mean, the only thing I don't like about, okay, one, yes, the cosplay Eddie Guerrero in China, it's kind of, it's not hitting for me. And then the other thing is, we know they're both married to other people. Come on, we all have the internet. Enough of this phony, like, mommy and Dom and Liv Morgan trying to get in between it all. We all know Liv's got a dude too, so let's move on. Let's make it about wrestling feuds and not about who gets to play around with little Dom.
Yeah, and the thing is Dom's pretty good in the ring, so I'd like to just see him get some more matches. He's still a teeny tiny little guy, but
he's great as a chicken shit heel.
Yeah, he's pretty fun to watch. I don't know. I'm gonna leave here tonight. I just want people to know I've always shit on MJF, but he had a really good fucking match, and Ospreay, him too, and they're top tier, man. Besides all the big finishers, they're top tier, and I hope to see more good matches like that. Honestly, I've never been AEW.
I hate to go backwards that far in the show, but we talked about it being maybe a mistake to go 50 minutes and show everything. what does it mean to have seen literally every move set both guys have? Do you think that diminishes the rematch?
We've seen almost every move set except for the Tiger Driver.
Right. That's all that's left.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, I mean, you're kind of booking, if you're going to do the rematch at Wembley, it's got to end with Ospreay winning with the Tiger Driver, right, Biggie?
They're definitely writing it out for us easily to see what's going to happen. Yes. Yeah.
You saw right where I was going. That's why I love you, Biggie, because you saw exactly where I was going with that.
Yeah, well, I set it up pretty good for you, but yeah, it's fucking it's a good thing to get invested in. It's the best. I mean, Cody, let's all kind of admit it at this point. Like Cody or Roman having the belt right now, it's just it ain't working for. I mean, I'm sure they're selling pretty good or whatever, but it's not the mania that we wanted. You know, it's not the. I'm not saying that as a pun. I'm saying it's not the hottest shit in the world. Like there's other guys underneath them that are getting better pops.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Roman's getting huge pops, not even being in the building. He ain't even in the zip code.
This ain't the first time for Roman to take some time off and get a big. Are we just more fond of him gone? Because wasn't it before the leukemia cancer scare and everybody was like, oh, and then he even used that whenever he left last time. But now we have a true tragedy. His father died. So I don't know. You know, it's like it's a coincidence.
I'm going to go back to an old Mean Gene Okerlund quote. How can we miss you if you won't go away?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Absence makes the fans fonder. It's an absolute. They want to see that old nostalgia come back, man.
Everybody wanted him to lose the title, and now those same people are begging him to come back.
Pathetic. I'm not falling in for it. I'm enjoying other things. I loved Cody wanting to do it, but I loved the AEW Cody when he was a boss. Now I just feel like I'm glad he got it, but do something with it. You know, you did some cool shit with AJ. You're okay, but
I think AJ put him over real well.
Yeah, he did get a really good couple matches out of AJ, but that's about it.
They carried 2 pay-per-views together.
They are teasing Rhea and Jay relationship.
They are. Yeah, I didn't bring that up. You noticed that, Becker?
Yeah, I saw that clip.
Yeah. It's just a small little splice. Like, she looked back at him. Ooh.
Yeet.
Oh, she looked back at him. Watch out. Rhea Ripley.
I think that's silly because we know he's married too.
I'd rather Jay be doing it than Solo. I think Jay has more of a history with Roman. Jay was always kind of the pit bull, go get him. And now the best guy it's almost like, okay, you put the guy that was the enforcer at the lead, but now the guy that shouldn't have got it, but now the enforcer may be good enough to take the lead. So it's just like
I love Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, Jacob Fatu. I've seen him do some promos. I'm like, this guy he would kill it. He's like rock good, dude. Like,
go look up his moonsaults.
Oh, his in the ring shit's crazy. It's fucking crazy shit. Yeah. He's the most talented, bro. He's huge. He moves around like a featherweight, man. That guy's amazing, and he's street. Like when he was talking about a match. And he was saying, oh, you guys want to take it to the streets. And I was just like, damn, bro. Like, this guy is like what you would want somebody to sound like. Like, he knows how to talk on the mic.
You can believe he's actually dangerous.
Yeah, he's
like
almost
the way
like
he looks, the facials, the stare, the tough guy stare.
He reminds me of the Briscoes promos. They sound like street guys, like
right.
There's not many guys like that.
Legitimately go outside with you and take care of business.
There's not many people that could do that. Like,
how long before we get a breakup of Judgment Day?
soon, and it can't come soon enough. I want Damian Priest out of there. Get them all out. I'm sure they'll keep something with Dom, Carlito, JD McFunko Pop.
What the hell is? Hold on. He said New Day, or is their name New Day too?
No, he said Judgment Day.
Oh, Judgment Day. I thought you said New Day. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, that shit isn't going. You know that when they first started doing that, it was supposed to be Edge's shit? Ain't that funny?
Yeah, that was Edge's.
Yeah, it's fucking true. Like
his
that when
leg
Edge
is
came
broken and we won't see him for a year.
Yeah.
Because he's in AEW.
Yeah. How's Christian doing anymore since the broken leg shit? Edge doing or Christian doing good? No.
Is anybody in AEW doing good?
Well, I'll spray an MJF or maybe
That's
Christian. That's it. Yeah. Well, Swerve's okay. And the best guy ever is Samoa Joe. So there you go.
Oh, but then they took Samoa Joe and put him through the world's phoniest wall. Did you see that, Pop?
I didn't see it.
Oh, my God. So let me tell you about this. Last week, Chris Jericho apparently got his forklift license. And they had Samoa Joe on a forklift, and they put him through a wall. It was a wall in the sense that there were like 1x2s, or they may have been 2x4s.
Oh, it was like a Shockmaster wall.
It was like but in the middle of nowhere, standing by itself. And it was made out of like paper mache and the thinnest drywall you've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you could put a paper bag through it. And instead of like, because it wasn't anchored to anything, because it wasn't holding anything, and it was just a wall in the middle of nowhere, it had clamps on the side of it so it wouldn't fall over.
Oh, that's fucking. And you could see the clamps too. Wow.
Yeah, you could see the clamps.
Oh.
But Joe went through it, and then he got taken off in an ambulance. And Jericho and his crew, the Learning Tree crew, they waved goodbye to him.
Oh my God.
I was sad that Samoa Joe had to go through that.
Yeah, I made it a point not to watch any more Jericho for a while. It's been a while since I even tried. The Learning Tree, I haven't seen any of it. I just ignored it, but maybe it's okay. That sounds fun. I see that because it's so bad.
The one thing I like about the Learning Tree thing, and this is a really weird reason to like it, the bounty hunter, Brian Keith, was from my local wrestling that Circumstances and I go to, and he messed with us one night, and we got a pop out of him. He was a bad guy, and he was walking. When he walked to the ring, you know how they do the outside and the heels, you know, when the kids try to high five him. And some kid went to high five him, and he went like he was going to do it, and then he pulled away and like made him flinch, you know.
Oh.
And I was like, oh man, come on, it's just a kid. And Brian Keith looks right at me and Marcus and goes, I got 3 of them and I don't care about them either. And he gets in the ring, and when he's getting beat up by the baby face, because he was up against a big baby face, was throwing him around and stuff. I was like, oh my God, somebody take care of him. He's got kids. And we started a chant of he's got kids, like the old Heath Slater. And it was pretty good. He laughed. You could tell he was laughing.
That's cool, man. Yeah. Is it time? Do you still enjoy any of Jericho's stuff, or?
No, it's really bad. I agree. He should retire.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because that little guy underneath him wasn't that bad. Like, he's Sammy or where the hell. He's pretty good, talented kid.
Sammy Guevara. Is he injured, Pop?
Something's going on with that kid. Yeah, he ain't been doing much.
Well, he had a kid.
I don't know.
But I think he also got injured.
That seemed like the best stuff that came from him. The best stuff that comes from him is those little underlings, and Sammy Guevara was definitely the one I was keeping an eye on. And
We don't.
I remembered. Sammy Guevara got suspended for injuring Jeff Hardy.
Oh shit!
And they've never brought him back.
Damn. Well, that sucks.
And Jeff and Matt are gone now.
Yep, I heard they'd had a Salem match somewhere. I missed it, but
I was mildly interested in seeing what it was like. So I think that's all I got. I got some steak and some burgers waiting on me, and I don't have much more. But if you do, I don't know.
Nope.
What are you saying, Pop?
Let's wrap it up. Pop.
Hold on. He's got one.
Britt Baker returned another that should go to WWE. WWE talent can take their name outside of the company.
Yeah. She needs to leave. But I don't think she will. I think she loves AEW, so who knows? She's got to be tired of seeing these WWE gals come in and she has to work with them.
Who are we talking about?
Britt Baker. She's going to be fighting Mercedes Moné at Wembley.
Well, it looked like Monet has the belt of some sort, the TNA
she
belt.
Does. She has one of the, yep.
Did they just give it to her because they gave her so much money, or what the fuck was that about?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
The crowd ain't into her. Dead on arrival, man. They don't care about her.
Yeah, she did the freaking Bret Hart promo. Like,
she did.
That's what it takes for you to get any kind of action. That's pretty stupid. Like, I was hoping what's her name would come out. You know, the Canadian wrestling girl. Whatever.
Well, she's signed to WWE. Natalia.
Yeah, Natalia.
Jim
cool.
the Anvil.
I thought she was pretty much retired at this point. Like, she's just
I think she's a trainer.
Yeah, trainer. Right. Yeah, she definitely is the reason a lot of these girls are any good. Honestly.
Yeah, she's a hell of a trainer.
Yep. Anyways, you can catch me on the club tomorrow night. We're doing Recalled, Controversial, and Error Comics. It'd be me, D, and Alan and Matt so far, I think. And catch me on Church on Sunday. That's about all I got.
I don't have anything to show, but I think I'd get home at about 7:30 tomorrow night. I'd hop on just to hang out.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I'll send you a link. I'll get you set up. You don't have to do much. You can just chill. Pop, you could come as usual, man. You're always welcome.
All right, Pop, get us out of here.
Yeah, man. Thank you, chat. Appreciate y'all. Sorry it's been so long. We'll be back soon.
Thank you, everyone. See you later, Paul in the 619 Bleaker.